welcome. Thank you for being here. We are now at the Boston Blockchain Week. Only 6 days ago, we started our first round of fundraising, and we are already at a very big event. Thank you to all of you for making this possible. Thank you also to Stephanie from Stakes Capital for organizing this and making this possible in such a short span of time. And of course, thank you also to everyone at the Boston Blockchain Week for having us. And it's an honor to be here. So this is going to be a pretty long segment. We have an hour and a half, and the format is going to be fairly simple. I'm going to start by telling you a few things about CryptoArena. Then we're going to move on to our guests, featuring our hostess, actually, NFTIgnition, and Jared Allen from the ZUZ and ZUZ protocol, and as well as Dcent, which is joining us at the very last second. Thank you very much for doing so. So let's get started. We are CryptoArena, and we're building something really special. We call it the first self-decentralizing exchange, or S-DEX. My name is Lorenzo. I am the founder and the CEO, and I wish to take you on a journey to explore the possibilities that are actually available to us with blockchain technology today. Our aim is to deliver on the fundamental mission of this whole blockchain revolution, which we don't believe has actually been reached, and we aim to give our contribution to actually get there. Our goal is 100% public benefit infrastructure. We're building an exchange, a crypto exchange and securities broker that actually redistributes the revenue it generates on the platform back to its users using a game-like points scoring system. And basically what that means to the users is that the more points they accumulate over time, the more their share from the revenue that has been generated by the services on the exchange, they will actually receive at the end of the month. It's a very big promise, and of course the usual question is, how could you possibly deliver this? We do this through a gamified point scoring system that allows you to insert both quantitative and qualitative factors into the activity that generates a value for the network. Based on this, you're assigned a score that is factored against that of all the other qualifying participants. And based on that, the shares are actually generated. Our solution is a layer 2 blockchain deployed as a parachain of the Polkadot relay chain as its layer 1, and uses a custom consensus protocol called the PORD, Proof of Revenue Distribution, to actually demonstrate transparently and anytime through blockchain that all the distributions that should happen are actually happening as they should. In very short, in difficult terms, what this does is combine probabilistic consensus, probabilistic finality, and deterministic proof into proven finality. Now, what these mean basically is that they generate an expectation of how much should be distributed in the next period, and corroborated with the expectation of the previous period and the current numbers to generate final entries in a distributed ledger. The real kicker about this all is that the distributions of revenue of the platform actually increase over time automatically as a consequence of our very unique self-decentralization process. This process's goal is to transition the holding entity of the whole conglomerate into a full non-profit, 100% non-profit, that cannot, both legally and practically, because of smart contracts, retain any of the profits that it actually generates. Thus, it becomes a completely ownerless entity that is bound to redistribute all the profits through this game-like points scoring system. Our aim in doing this is to actually create a better type of economy, an economy in which there's the possibility for greater participation, for greater results, for merit to be the key driver of success. The way I'm describing it these days is something that I've stole from, I believe it was a German professor of economics. He called it Mario Kart economics, and it sounds super silly, but it really isn't. Basically, in Mario Kart, the more you fall behind from the pack, the greater your incentives become to catching up again. And conversely, the further ahead from the pack you get, the lesser your incentives become. Now, if you visualize this in your head in economic terms, you get a system in which the richer are not necessarily getting richer unless they're the best competitors in the business, basically, while everyone else has an opportunity to catch up, to speed up, and to gain based on the actual effort that they put into things. At the same time, it allows for good distribution and scalability, as well as for merit to actually allow the leaders of the pack to move forward. On this core, we actually build a whole lot of different services, complementary services that obviously that make sense within our ecosystem. These include Patrons and Champions, which is our advanced copy trading solution, as well as competitive events, very much like poker tournaments, in which you buy in to the competition, and the fees are accumulated to create a reward structure that goes to those that perform the best. So basically, we want to gamify the trading experience because we believe that the trading experience is probably the only thing in finance that hasn't changed in many decades. It's still very technical, it's still very exclusive, it's still very difficult, and it's still very necessary for long-term preservation of your funds. And we believe that gamifying it is probably the best way to reach most people and to teach most people how to make the best use of their money. So effectively, this is public infrastructure that will reach all over the world because it's fully regulated. So it goes through smart contract audits, because of course we have lots of smart contracts, and we're going to go through. We haven't decided exactly who. We believe Trail of Bits is the one we have in mind. And we'll also go through a securities audit locally here in the Netherlands, where we're based, with the IFM, Autoriteit Financial. Sorry, my Dutch is pretty terrible. And in the United States, with the Securities Exchange Commission, because we absolutely want to reach all audiences, and we have full transparency, a real non-profit, 100% non-profit mission, and a pretty ingenious way also method also for securely doing auditing processes. So basically, to keep a long story short, it's basically like candy would be wrapped in encryption. Not exactly like wrapping works in crypto, but more like a candy. If you visualize it, it's the external part that is unique, and you create a unique key that is logged in another ledger. And if that key is generated when it shouldn't be, or if it's duplicated or anything that shouldn't happen, basically, that allows the blockchain to fork to the previous block and prevent a breach. So it's pretty cool mechanism. But I would say that that's enough rambling for the moment, and we can move on to the introductions. We have among us Danielle, also known as NFTIgnition, also known as the Kingmaker. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm so happy that we have this big group of people here. All three of these projects are actually projects that I'm very close with, work with personally. So I'm super excited for you guys to kind of see all the cool stuff that we have going on. The first person that we are going to be having come up is going to be Jared Allen from ZUZ Protocol.
From Mount Olympus itself.
Jared, you there? I will send him a quick message here.
That's all right. Just for you guys to know, they are having a fantastic NFT meme competition right now, with which you can win the ZUZ protocol NFTs. So you should definitely check it out. Their Twitter. They have a competition running right now. So if you have a great idea for a Roman themed meme or a Greek god themed meme, this is the kind of thing that both he and I like.
Apparently it's a permissions thing in the Discord. We're getting him in here right now.
Oh. Gotta have to whip the workers. So a little bit of technical difficulties, it would seem, with permission in accessing the channel. Sorry, Jared.
Can you try it now, Jared?
Fix it?
Yay! There
we go. Hello. Hi, Jared. Welcome.
Hey. Okay. How's it look? Okay, let me actually turn myself around because
he's in LA right now working on some stuff for the project. He's been very busy, so we were lucky to get him.
Believe it or not, I'm actually in North Carolina.
Okay. Moving all over the place all the time.
So yeah, we're everywhere right now, getting things together. Thank you, and I apologize for that brief technical difficulty. It seems to follow me everywhere, but we get it done. We get it.
Absolutely, we do, and no worries at all. This was all concocted at the last second. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Thank you for making it. It's a great pleasure to have you here and host you at the Boston Blockchain Week. And I also was telling the audience that you have an NFT competition for memes that they should check out on Twitter. You want to tell us something more about it?
Yeah, it was May the 4th yesterday, and we wanted to have a cool meme competition in conjunction with our newest NFT launch that just launched last night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, we have a bunch of ZUZ NFTs that are actually on the chopping block right now. We're looking at who's gonna win right now, so hurry up and get them in if you have time.
Very cool. I was actually making cat memes last night, and I was definitely looking into participating. Is it still open? When does it close?
Well, it's open. Yeah, let's keep it open right now because we wanted to really just get some more word out on our new NFTs, which I'd love to talk about. I got some cool info on these dynamic NFTs that we've launched for the first time on OpenSea.
Yeah, go for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can go.
Go for it. Cool. Floor is yours.
Well, brief introduction. My name's Jared Allen. I am the Chief Operating Officer at Zero Utility Company and ZUZ Protocol. Both of our tokens serve as NFT solution-based instruments and utility tokens for NFT, anything solutions-based. So we've created the multi-send, like, for example, like an airdrop tool for NFTs, as well as a dynamic NFT mentor, and we also have a staking platform on the way. So everything that we do is sort of funneled in through this ecosystem that we've created that is spurring many different factions of its own. We have a decentralized philanthropy project that we're working on. We have partnerships with Polygon, so we're creating a gasless staking ecosystem over there, as well as just plain old amazing art, and trying to fuse all those together to create a DeFi experience that is visually pleasing. So
that's amazing, man. I was actually hearing from my staff that we used your tool, the multisend, to actually airdrop 86,000 self-burning NFTs to remind people to come and visit us here at this event.
Also, we're working on it. Not yet.
No. We're live. We're recording.
No. We will be.
Okay.
We will
So
be.
that's okay. I mean, the cat's out of the bag now, literally. So yeah, we are using both of their tools. The Minter on Matic, which has a feature to have auto-destructing NFTs that are set to a certain time, and then NFT multisend also on Matic.
Great. That is great. Jared, there is something that I wanted to talk to you specifically about. It's been on my mind for a few days ever since I saw you retweeting me. Thank you, man. We totally needed a boost. That is NFTIgnition. I don't know if Danielle has told you anything yet. For the benefit of the audience, this is an ERC 721 based PvP trading cards game. That means you can use your NFT, whatever NFT, and you don't have to buy cards or the game from us. It's all free and open source. And basically what this is competitive trading card game matches in which you can actually win or lose your NFT or the opponent's NFT in MMR play, so in competitive play. Further, there's several game modes. There's of course the friendly one in which you can just learn or have fun, and customization lobbies in which you can change the rules, make it even more hardcore if you want. You can bet your whole stack of NFTs if you like to live dangerously.
Like a roulette. Yeah.
Exactly. So basically, it's a pretty great way for artists and NFT projects to put their art out there, to give it exposure, and also perhaps to have, if you're lucky, to get a rare wrapping, because of course the type of cards that you get are going to be different. One of one NFT has intrinsically better value than one of 1 million, of course. So the way it works very quickly is you stake an NFT on our smart contract. The smart contract wraps it in the data attributes that allows it to be played in game, and generates a copy on your mobile app. Okay, using Unity, not Solidity. Sorry, Solidity is the smart contract up there, and Unity is your mobile app, and basically it generates a copy of that NFT specifically that is staked on the smart contract, and you can use it as a card in the game, and you can win it and you can lose it. If you lose it, for example, it will be transferred in the smart contract from your wallet to the wallet of the person winning it. Conversely, if you win it, you can stack the NFTs or your opponent, and you can then sell the surplus if you want. Lots of nice things you can do.
Yeah, like I see lots of ideas spurring from this. This gamification is really cool.
That's awesome. And
yeah,
I wanted to ask you, I saw on your website also about the Nft Forge.
yes, the Nfc Forge is a dynamic mentor that it specializes in making properties on your NFTs that would allow them to be transferred and moved or destroyed based on certain on-chain events that is set by the user. So we made it universal so that you can use it if you wanted to. We didn't want to close it off, and we wanted to make this tool accessible to anyone, so that it really just helps people understand the flexibility and modularity of NFTs. There's a lot of data, and there's a lot of information that we can put onto it that helps us store information and trade information, gamify things. This is already available on Matic and Ethereum networks.
That's great. We are not already available. NFTIgnition will be available next quarter, more likely towards the end of it, because we're just starting up. But it should be available pretty quickly.
Great, awesome.
We should definitely talk this out a little further when you can.
We've seen this sort of gamification, not necessarily in the way that you're doing it, because I like the education and accessibility aspect that you add to it, and also having a web app, or I'm sorry, a mobile app is the next step, I think, to getting people involved and easily adopted into NFTs and stuff. So that's really cool. But absolutely, we work with the project. Block Duelers, for example, that is doing a similar gamification with dueling your NFTs with one another. And there's also we have a partner, Open NFT, that's going to be coming out soon, which is an aggregator. So you'll be seeing NFTs. You're going to vote for your favorite one, and whoever wins the vote gets some of their tokens. So there's already this sub ecosystem that's being made based on the gamification of NFTs. I think it's going to go far, and we're definitely here to support anything that uh, NFTIgnition is doing. Of course,
Of course, she's incredible, isn't she?
I'm still here. They had to turn my camera off so we could fit more people in the room.
No.
It's busy. It's good though.
Oh, that's a very good thing.
Yeah, I'm going to disable your video real quick. Apologies. That'll allow more people to enter. Stand by.
Are we good?
Okay, that's done. More people should be able to get in now.
Yay! We have some people in the waiting room. I don't know.
Welcome, people. Welcome.
Tell them.
If you're just joining us, this is Lorenzo, the founder of CryptoArena, and joining me from not LA, you're back in North Carolina, Jared from Mount Olympus, the COO of ZUZ Protocol.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you, CryptoArena.
Thank you for joining us. We were just talking about NFTs, about all the ways that you can use them, all the great ways that we have been using the ZUZ Protocol's tools, and about the upcoming NFT Arena PvP trading cards game that will be released in the next quarter, in which you can win NFTs from your opponent or lose your own. I am being invaded. As you can see, there's a tail sprouting from underneath here. That is our guest here. And have you seen perhaps about our token, the cats?
Oh, of course, of course. I actually participated. I definitely want to support anything NFT related as far as I can. The space is growing so fast, so. Anything NFT related, I'm there with it. So yes, of course, cat.
It's a really cool token, I have to say. It sounds a bit like a meme token, but if I can tell you the truth, it actually started as something that had nothing to do with it. The original purpose of it, the original meaning of the name was chain agnostic token. So it just kind of happened. And
nice.
We actually moved away from that for more utility when we decided that its main case should be as multipliers to the revenue distributions that our exchange platform actually performs through an automated system. You had technical difficulties earlier, and we had new people joining us, so I'll go through it real quick again. We are building the first self-decentralizing exchange, and by that we mean it is a crypto exchange and a securities broker that redistributes platform-generated revenue back to its users using a game-like point scoring system. So basically what that means for the user is you score more points, you get more of the exchange's revenue. The real kicker about it is that over time the amounts distributed, the proportions, increase automatically as a consequence of our self-decentralization process, by which we transition the holding entity of the whole conglomerate into a 100% non-profit entity. Of course, it's a very big promise, and usually people don't believe us until we've answered, well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to pay your bills and these kind of things? So our solution is a layer 2 blockchain that is deployed as a parachain of the Polkadot relay chain as its layer 1. And what this does basically is it uses complicated words to prove that the amounts that should be distributed in each period are actually being distributed transparently. We can verify it as they happen, basically, any day, any time. The way it does so is through a network that is composed of 2 nodes. They're called watchers and counters, and these names are actually quite descriptive of their function. The watchers are Oracle nodes that connect, they watch the exchange wallets basically, and continuously take snapshots of the transactions that go both in and out at all times. They feed this data, these timestamps, to the counter nodes, and the counter nodes add, obviously descriptive, they add up the timestamps to recreate the exact ledger of all transactions that have happened in the period of a month. So say with fictitious numbers that the watchers are taking snapshots every 3 seconds, and that you want to recreate an average month with 30 days, that is 863,000 timestamps that you add up, and you have the full record of all transactions. Now, our security tokens are actually also part of this mechanism, and they function as beacons, so they tell our systems where distributions should end up in what proportion.
Awesome. Perfect timing. Alex, are you there?
Hello, Alex. Welcome.
Let me check and see.
Can you hear us, Alex?
He said he's not able to unmute himself.
Oh,
there we go.
There we go. Hello, Alex. Welcome. Thank you for joining us on such short notice at the Boston Blockchain Week. We have a whole lot of people in here. Welcome. Can you hear me all right?
Make sure you don't have push to talk enabled, Alex.
Oh.
If you need to turn that off, click on the little arrow, the lower right of the microphone icon, and choose push to talk, or choose voice activity instead of push to talk.
Can we do this? Can we move on? All right, let's not keep the audience waiting. Let's work on the technical issues. I'll continue where I left off. I was explaining our network, how proof of revenue distribution works. Basically, this is our custom consensus protocol. It's our custom flavor of POA, proof of authority, that is composed of 2 nodes, watchers and counters, that have descriptive names of their functions. The watchers keep watch over the wallets of the exchange and take continuous snapshots of all transactions that go in and out of those wallets, feeding that data to the counter nodes. The counter nodes add it up to recreate an exact copy of all the transactions that have gone through an exchange in a period in time. Now, having this information, the nodes compute an expectation of how much they should distribute in the next period by knowing where the security tokens are, because the security tokens are beacons that tell if you have 1% that they're owed 1% of the revenue. With this objective expectation of the future and the current data, we can actually prove every distribution that happens at any point in time, because it's a blockchain. So when we compute the future expectation of the next period, in truth, we have a previous block with the same expectation from the previous period that matches the current numbers, and when they do match, the block is produced, signed, verified, and sent through the collators to the validators of the Polkadot relay chain, which then stores it for long-term security purposes and for long-term storage of the chain data. So in this way, basically, we can prove our outrageous mission of 100% revenue distributions. Our technical difficulties resolved? Alex, do you hear me? Can you speak?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Got it all figured out.
Welcome, Alex. Welcome. Thank you for making it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm glad we got that figured out.
So tell us a little bit about Dcent.
Yeah, so Dcent is a crypto lifestyle brand. What we're doing is we're exploring the various ways that you can combine NFTs with limited edition apparel and fine goods. And we're doing that in a number of different ways. And I think of a good place to start. I don't know if it's possible that I could share my screen.
Not anymore because of the
Nope.
room cap. So we had to turn it off to get more people in here.
Okay. Well,
But we
if
can put
anybody
links
is-
in the channels for people.
Great. Yeah, that would be great. If anybody's interested in taking a look at what I'm going to be talking about, go to decentlife.io, and it's spelled DCENT. But currently we have technically two product lines available, and they both utilize NFTs in different ways. We launched last year with our Unlimited collection. These are original designs, mostly soft goods apparel like t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts that are limited editions in that they are limited time or limited. Let me try this again. The way they are limited is by the amount of time that collection runs. So every quarter we'll be introducing a new collection of products, and however many are purchased during that time will determine the scarcity or rarity of that given product. With this, we are actually building it with Polygon, and we'll be launching that integration here in the next few weeks. Basically, the way it works is when you purchase your, let's say, limited edition hoodie, a token is created that captures the sale data. So, it functions as a receipt in a sense, but it also captures whether you got blue or black or gray hoodie, what size, and so you have the specs or stats for that product that are then captured on the blockchain, and you can then over time see whether your black triple extra large hoodie is one of the more rare or more common versions.
So you actually have basically you're making a market of actually unique clothing.
Exactly. Yeah. And the fun way that we've developed for people to take ownership of their NFT is it requires them to prove ownership through social proof. So they'll purchase their product, and then they'll receive instructions that when they get the product in the mail, they take a selfie with it or they take a picture of it, post it on social media, and then they go to the interface where they input their order number, submit the social proof link to prove that they received it, and then at that point we release the token to them. And that all happens on Matic, or I should say Polygon now.
Yes.
But we're also giving our users the option at that time to pay the gas fees to bridge it over to Ethereum. So if they don't want to pay the gas fees, they can keep it on Polygon. Otherwise, they can choose to get it on the Ethereum mainnet.
That sounds very cool, Alex. I was just talking with Jared of the ZUZ protocol about all these incredible new ways that NFTs are used for so many different purposes. For example, we were doing a marketing campaign with it earlier, or I was also discussing about NFTIgnition, an ERC-721 based PvP trading cards game in which you can actually win or lose NFTs against your opponent in competitive matches, as well as, of course, spend our utility tokens, the CATS tokens, which, by the way, are on pre-sale. You can go to our website, buy tokens, and just take them to spend on the economy, both to buy assets, to spend for fees, or to add wagers on top of your matches.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that out when it goes live.
Yeah, very soon. Next quarter. Probably towards the end, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'd love to tell you about a couple other really cool things we're doing with NFTs as they relate to the physical products.
Outstanding.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so the other collection that we recently piloted with in collaboration with Meme is we call it the Key Art Collection, and this is strictly collaborations with NFT projects, artists, people in the space that are creating NFTs themselves. And what we've developed is a Web3 interface that allows us to tag pre-existing NFTs on the market and utilize them as keys. So in the case of the meme collection, we identified 4 of their more popular Genesis NFTs, tagged them as keys, and then created a line of products that is only accessible to the owners or the holders of that NFT.
Wow.
So when they go to the...
sounds like a really, really, really cool idea for early communities like ours. I can see some of my very loyal fans among us. A little shout out to Blake, to Friadi, to Stacy B. Love you guys. And this would be an amazing way of of recognizing the fact that some people just believed in us from the very beginning, and it's through their love that project like mine, and I assume also yours, can actually sprout out from the ground. Make the world
absolutely.
a little better place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'd love to talk with you about doing a collaboration as well. That's what it's all about, is helping to, cross-promote one another's projects and to also build additional value into the NFTs that these creators are making. So, by tying limited edition real-world products to it that only the NFT owners can access, it creates additional value on top of the value that's already built into your NFTs.
I totally agree. We were actually looking into setting up a little drop shipping solution. This would be, it's a collaboration that's basically already pre-done. Sounds great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty much the idea of it.
Mm-hmm. Precisely. And then the next one that we're releasing, the smart contracts are being written as we speak for this next one, is our delimited editions collection. And these are really high-end, like fine goods. I wish I could turn my camera on because I could show you the prototype of a really nice high-end watch that we're releasing.
Unfortunately, we're apparently very popular.
I can throw the image into the general chat. I don't have a copy of it offhand, but if you want to throw it in Slack, I can put it in our chat or something.
All right, I'll see if I can find it while we're talking. But
we'll make sure to also retweet any material that you would like to share with our audience. Gladly.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. So with the delimited editions NFTs, the way this works is you actually purchase the NFT first through a marketplace like OpenSea. And these are dynamic, that they capture the data of what the life cycle of the NFT is before it is redeemed. So if the NFT for this watch is traded, say 5 times before it ends up being used to redeem and gain access to the watch itself and have it shipped to you, that information is captured in the metadata, and the redeemer can choose to associate their identity, if they want, with the NFT at the time that they redeem it. The idea being that using something like Bright ID, if an influencer or a celebrity, somebody with an audience, wants to give a digital signature to it, they can prove that they were the owner of this limited edition high-end watch. And now when it goes on secondary market, you can tell that so-and-so influencer was the original owner of it. The other cool thing is that the NFT itself has 2 states. So there's a pre-redeemed state and a post-redeemed state. So before you redeem it, it will have a graphic with a watermark that shows that it's unredeemed, and a specific set of metadata. But after you go through the process of redeeming it through our interface, it will update the image to show that it's redeemed, and then capture all that data at the time to kind of timestamp, the state of the NFT when it's been redeemed.
So what happens if the physical product is destroyed?
If say if somebody were to get one of these watches and they lose it or destroy it,
Yes.
So then they would have the ability actually to burn the NFT, or if there's a value for having a uncoupled NFT, maybe the market will dictate that there is interest in that. But
Yeah, I've seen these crazy examples of artists burning paintings so that it would only exist in digital form. I was thinking.
In our case, we want to keep them together. There's more value in the limited edition real world good being connected to the NFT, and we want to incentivize keeping the data up to date on the product. So, say for instance, you destroy your watch, and we want to make sure that the data for it shows that, well, there was previously 32 of them. Now there's only 31 of them, out in the world. It will make the others more valuable. So the token holder can burn their NFT, and then they'll get special perks and discounts for submitting it back to us and keeping that data up to date.
Very cool. All right.
So
this kind
we
of
have.
I was gonna say it kind of reminds me also of as I was talking about before of NFTIgnition. There's actually something I wasn't telling you guys, and that is that we're planning also something that we call hardcore mode, in which you are able to refuse actually accumulating the NFTs that you get from the opponents you're defeating, and instead you can give up your reward and burn it forever. And if you do it 5 times in a row, then you can upgrade the wrapping of your own NFT. So if you have a rare one that you didn't manage to get to the best wrapping, if you like to live dangerously, you can try the hard way to get the very best one. And Danielle, you were saying something? I was interrupting you?
Yeah. So I'm thinking, since we have about 15 minutes left, we might want to open up for AMA. Since we still have, is Jared still? I don't know. We can have people throw questions in the AMA channel, and then whoever the question pertains to, if they're available, they can ask it or answer it. So we do have a channel typing channel. It's been a week where you can put your questions in, and then we can go through those if you guys have any.
Absolutely. We're gonna open questions and we're gonna be reading them as you type them. We can talk about whatever you guys want. We can talk about CryptoArena, or can you tell me some specialties of crypto will be unique about the future of NFTs? Yes. We were talking about NFTIgnition, which is a really, really, really cool game, and it connects to CryptoArena through the utility token. With the utility token, you have the opportunity to stake it in an interest yielding pool that basically, other than the interest itself, also gives you the opportunity to run a node for the NFTIgnition DApp, which will generate rewards in F, which is nice, especially considering how much it's growing these days. What is CryptoArena? CryptoArena is the first self-decentralizing exchange. It is a crypto exchange and securities broker that redistributes platform-generated revenue back to its users using a game-like point scoring system. It's a L2 solution that deploys a parachain to the Polkadot relay chain as its layer 1 and a custom consensus protocol called PORD to demonstrate that the distributions are always correct. Any more questions? Will Dcent be focusing on NFTs for rare wearables, watches, clothes, etc., or also branching out to other types of rare items such as collector cards, for instance? Sorry, I missed a bit as had to get the door, so yeah, sorry if it was mentioned. Alex.
Yeah, so it's going to be an expanding line of different types of products. So right now we are mostly focusing on wearables, watches, clothes, and we'll probably even be expanding into metaverse wearables as well, where you can have both a physical and digital version of the same item. But we're looking at doing a variety of other types of limited edition products. So right now we're talking with some node manufacturers and actually working on designing some 3D printed Bitcoin and Ethereum nodes that will be again, limited edition and NFT authenticated.
Very cool. Do we have more questions, guys? Type. AMA question channel in the support. Right under, if you scroll under on the left in your Discord. Anything you guys would like to know about us, about ZUZ or Dcent? Perhaps.
One other thing I could also add to that as well is we're also doing art prints. So, for instance, with our meme collection, you can get the NFT as a 24 by 36 canvas print too. So we're doing an art type of product line to accompany the apparel.
Cryptato is typing. Very cool nickname, dude. What does Cryptato want to ask? Lots of topics, guys. We have exchanges, distributions, NFTs. We have copy trading. We have the NFT multi-sender. Lots of things. Elite trader. You heard me say copy trading, didn't you?
Well, I've got a question for you while we got some people typing.
Yes.
About your platform. With the both the multi-send and the Forge, the Nft Forge, how is it you are able to select between doing it on Polygon versus Ethereum? I heard you said that there was the ability to do both.
Yep. Yeah. So it's actually two completely different tools. One that they built on Ethereum, and then a separate one that they built over on Polygon.
I see. Okay, so just need to find which one I need to use for.
Yeah, I can
chain.
put the links in the chat.
Cool. Yeah, I want to check those out.
Is
so
it
yeah,
possible to sell real estate as an NFT?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are actually projects that are doing that right now. I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head, but I think there's probably half a dozen that are tokenizing real estate.
Yep, and not only buying property, but also like rentals. Like I know somebody right now who's working with a hotel, like their cabins in the Caribbean, and they'll be doing like entire vacation rentals via NFT.
Yeah.
So Monopoly
there's another
basically
one
has breached into real life.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There's another one that's actually doing fractional ownership of property, so you can basically invest in property without having it someplace that you could go build on it yourself.
Very nice. Next question is about the AWS mining in the future with the ZUZ NFTs. Can you elaborate a little
Somebody's
more?
got some alpha. So I can confirm that ZUZ is currently working with AWS to do cloud mining with NFTs, but I cannot give any more details than that.
Oh, wow.
Other than if it's something you're interested in, definitely buy one of the NFTs that we currently have for sale. The thing about these, I don't know if Jared went into the details earlier, but you have to hold 0.1 ZUT in your wallet to own the NFT, or it will auto-destruct. It earns you tokens every month, gaslessly. They're just airdropped into your wallet. And if other people's NFTs get burned, you do get a larger portion of the tokens. And there will be some cool stuff coming that we are just going to integrate into those later. So, besides the ZUS that you're going to be getting dropped, there will be other uses to have them. So, I can't give details, but it's definitely something you should look into.
Great. Do we have any more questions? I see one coming. Oh, it was a comment. Sweet, thank you. All right. What else? What else can we talk about? We have the CATS tokens pre-sale live right now, round 2. We've already raised over 93 ETH, and we're still going. Round 3 will be coming shortly, will be announced very shortly. It's going to be an IDO through a primary platform, and the listing on Uniswap is at the latest at the end of this month. So get your tokens now. How does one trade NFTs? Another question. Who wants to take it?
I can take that one. So when you say trade NFTs, really it's more buying and selling NFTs. There are a few instances where you can swap an NFT for another NFT, but generally that's not the case. But if you're looking to buy some, sell some, whatnot, the most common options would be OpenSea or Rarible. The Matic stuff that everyone has been talking about, they do have a version of OpenSea on Matic now. It's still in beta mode, but that will probably be where people go to when they do hop over to Matic.
Good. Any other questions, guys?
You could go into the advanced copy trading a bit more.
Yes. We are building a very, very cool solution for the copy trading. Some of you may not be familiar with copy trading. It's basically a modernization of traditional asset managers. The people that you used to call to manage your money, to manage your investments. These people that don't really have an interest in making you money. They have an interest in growing their sales because you pay when you enter, you pay for performance, you pay for exit, regardless of everything. Instead, with our system, you literally only pay them if they return a profit to you above what they would deduct from their fee plus half another of their fees. So in very short terms, if you invest $100 and they charge you a 2% fee in order for them to withdraw that 2% from your investment, they have to return at least 3% in profit on top of it. This is a totally non-custodial system that uses an escrow system. That really is really cool because it allows you to make trading smart contracts between the two parties, the copier and the copied, with zero knowledge of each other. Basically, both of the parties generate a proxy that knows only the other proxy and that the other proxy wants to make a transaction. So you use this proxy basically to negotiate the terms of your agreement with your trader. We call them patrons and champions. Of course, the patron is the copier and the champion is the copied. You define the basic terms, the targets, withdrawal conditions, basically when you can get out. Both parties agree, and everything is just automatically handled. All you have to do is sit back and relax, or if you are the champion, you just need to achieve the targets to earn your profits. The really cool thing about it also is that it incentivizes both cooperation between people on the exchange and also competition between the traders. It does so by giving the two categories, the patrons and the champions, multipliers to the points that you earn through trading actions. So basically, placing a trade through the copy trading system earns you more glory points than trading normally would on CryptoArena. And it's basically the same use case, the same as the main use case of our utility token, which you can also spend to get these multipliers. They're basically power-ups, or if you will, the opposite of a discount token. A discount token you spend to get a discount, this one you spend to get a multiplier to distributions of profits. Any other questions from you guys about this, perhaps? It's very cool. It uses amazing technology. Here's one coming, Elite Trader. Awesome. Yes, you can get more info on that on docs.cryptoarena.org. You can find our Git book and comprehensive information about everything. Thank you, Danielle. Further, I would also definitely urge you to check out our tokens section. We have two tokens. One is a utility token, one is a security token. Sorry for that. The utility token, as I was saying, you can spend for multipliers to the distributions of revenue of the platform. And the security token instead is the ownership of the whole conglomerate. And it's also the a key part of the mechanism that allows us to maintain our promise. We are the self-decentralizing exchange and give away 100% of revenue generated after 10 years, starting from 25%, growing over time automatically. Any other questions, guys? Because we're almost close at the end. For either us, our guests, or perhaps even for NFT Ignition. I have a question for NFT Ignition. How do you manage?
I don't know. I also have a 3-year-old running around at home, often jumping around in the background while I'm working. Yeah. I guess I just like my life to be kind of crazy.
Yes, it's been a terribly busy week. Blake, hello, Blake. Question from Blake. I saw your meme, by the way. I didn't have time to respond yet, and I definitely want to because I had an idea to respond to you in memes. So I definitely will. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good point you're making. The CATS tokens are ERC20s tied to the value of Ethereum. So basically we have the pre-sale running. Lots of people have been worried and telling us, yeah, but I'm going to miss out on the growth that the Ethereum is making right now, so I don't really want to invest. You shouldn't worry at all because the liquidity of the CATS tokens is in Ethereum. So basically the value of our tokens is growing right alongside it, and you lose nothing in the exchange. Thank you, Blake. Great thing to remind me of. What else? Probably might be interested in the fact that we started 6 days ago. We raised more than 90 ETH, and we're going to have products coming to market every quarter, starting from this one, in fact. This quarter, we're going to be releasing our DAO, the governing entity for the utility tokens, as well as Gas Tracker. It's a little phone app for Android at first, and we're also going to do it for iPhone as soon as we can, that allows you to keep track of gas costs, initially of Ethereum, later of all of them, so that basically you can set alerts and notifications for custom ranges rather than having to bleed yourself doing transactions at the very end. How does the S-DEX relate to UniV3? Well, we're not really competing with those types of DEXs. They use AMM protocols, that is automated market making, in which the supply of the tokens and of the collateral asset always equals a constant product, basically. We are instead are a decentralized centralized exchange, if you will. We retain the structure of the centralized exchange with none of the trust, with none of the bothersome part, and with none of the conflict of interests, because we just redistribute the profits to those that generate. So the way it relates is different market, really. They are for trade immediately. We instead are for large volume, for competitiveness, and for institutional markets as well. Because of the regulated aspect of CryptoArena. Because we're going to go through the securities audit, we can actually offer tokenization and STOs. That means you can tokenize basically any object of value or your company or things that are usually restricted, and do an IPO with them directly on our platform.
Lorenzo, for some of the people in here that aren't super heavy into the crypto world, can you explain the difference between like a security token, just in general, and other types of tokens?
Absolutely, very gladly. Thank you for pointing me to this. I definitely could use some direction. The utility tokens are kind of like, the best way to explain them are perhaps vouchers. When you get a voucher for something that you really, really want, you associate a lot of value to it. But if you don't want that product, the value of the voucher you get, imagine that there's a place that makes really terrible pizza and that you would never eat there even for free, and they gave you a voucher for a 20% off. How much value does that voucher actually have? Very little, since you wouldn't eat there even for free. But conversely, instead, if the application of this voucher is for something that you attribute a lot of value to, then 20% off is relative to the value that you attribute to this item. A security instead is a regulated financial instrument. Okay, when you think investment, you hear all the CEOs of big crypto companies always saying, this is not financial advice, this is not financial advice. This is one of the reasons for it. A security is an actual investment that gives you the rights of shareholders and ownership. There's 6 rights specifically, and the way that you typically determine what is a security and what isn't a security is through the Howey test, which I suggest you Google. Basically, if there's a real expectation of profit, if things are done right, then it falls under the category of a security. And if it does, there are institutions that regulate who can and cannot invest and who can and cannot do this. For example, you can't trade Apple at Uniswap. You can't trade Apple stock at Uniswap. That's because that's a security. There's 6 aspects to it. So there's like the right of information. Public companies, the ones that go through securities audit, are actually required to publish a prospectus that includes all the financial information, all the company information, all the plans for the future, so that everything is always transparent. There's the rights to dividends. So if you own 1% of the shares of the company, and the company distributes profits to investors, you are owed 1% of that. It gives you the right to ownership itself, which means if the company buys a building, say for example, then you are also part owner of that building, or at least of the value that the building represents in money, and the likes. So basically, a security is pieces of a company.
Perfect. Okay, I think that was a good way to explain that. Alex, I got a question for you if you're still here.
Yes.
You also work for another project, right?
Yeah. So I work at a company called Float, and it is a alternative social network that is Bitcoin enabled. So you can transact with other users using Bitcoin. You can subscribe to premium content and do live chats all on Bitcoin. And they're also releasing their own token here in the next few weeks.
Interesting. Cool. I know I've been on there.
Yeah, it's float.app or join Float, and it's spelled FLOTE. It's kind of an alternative to Facebook or Twitter, has live streaming, and it's about to undergo a huge facelift, which is what I'm involved with. I do the UI UX design for it.
It sounds actually very interesting. There's a lot of need for social media to break through the current standards and the fragmentation that the audiences of social media have undergone through in these years. Everyone's gone to the platform where they have their own little bubble, rather than all being speaking together, which has for us companies, it makes it a whole lot harder to reach them.
Definitely. And there's actually a really big crypto community on there. So if you are a crypto related project, or you just want to find more people that are into the same thing to connect with, I highly suggest going and checking it out.
Indeed we will. Do we have any more questions from the audience?
There was one. So the question basically was just about trading an NFT. If you would just buy it for one amount and sell it for another to profit. But I'm just going to go into that a little bit more. So there are several different ways to profit off of NFTs. From making the NFT itself to buying an NFT and selling it. But there are also some other options that have been mentioned today, such as like DeFi staking of an NFT. Like the ZUZ NFT that we're currently selling that airdrops tokens to you every month. There's a lot of different options for that in the space besides just that product.
Oh, I see another question. Thank you, Rain. Definitely. Yes. We are really, literally currently working on providing basically a fork of Compound, which you might have heard. It's a really cool DeFi protocol that basically allows to stake not NFTs. We're talking about NFTs. It stayed in my mind. To stake the cats and receive rewards from interest that actually compounds when every block is completed. So rather than keeping track of time, it keeps tracks of blocks. And being on Ethereum, the block time is 13 seconds. So it's a very interesting thing, and it provides two APIs that are then combined. One is rewards in cats, your interest, and the other one instead is a reward yield of governance tokens for the DAO of the cats, which is the governing entity. And of course, you're going to be able to sell these as well, although I can't really tell you value. That's going to depend on how desirable they become.
So one thing that hasn't been brought up yet has been the airdrop. So I'm going to explain to you guys how that's going to work. We are going to drop the link into one of the chats here in a few minutes. The link's going to be open for 10 minutes. You guys are going to have to hop in within that 10-minute period. Just give your ETH address, and if there's any, there's an open form at the bottom for feedback, or if you have any thing you want to contact us about, or want to give us your information or whatever, there's a space like that on the form. So make sure to fill that out as soon as you see that link pop up.
And another very interesting thing about the cats is that the governance is decentralized. As I was saying, it's a DAO, a very minimal DAO that only does a few key things, a few high-level monetary policy decisions, so that basically we can take control out of our own hands, and have it be community owned, and essentially it does four things. It decides on the addition of new use cases for the cat's ecosystem, what is good and what is not for it. The other two decisions that it makes are on the yields for the staking on a yearly basis, which are decided by the community. And the other one is for the amount of yearly inflation minting. This is a minimum of 0.5% of the total supply that only starts actually after 2 years from last week. And it only happens once a year. So the DAO votes on what the next period minting should be in amounts, and then after a year that happens, and then there's another vote, and then it happens after a year again. So basically, there is always a predictability of inflation and never any surprises. Do we have any more questions? I don't think we have any more questions. If you have any more questions, guys, feel free to type them out. We're gonna wait for a little bit. But I think otherwise we're gonna be moving on to the airdrop.
Yep, I just posted the link. Everybody should have gotten a notification. That'll be open for 10 minutes, guys.
All right, there we go. Go. 10 minutes.
All right, thanks everybody for coming. If you have any questions that you didn't get to ask, feel free to reach out to us in any other way. Our chats are always open. My DMs are always open for any of the projects or just in general. So, yeah, let us know.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Have a good night, guys.
Next time.